get the Mana Geyser and do it again. Mana Geyser again. Yeah, Eldamri's Call. Blast Furnace Hellkite. Very silly, but not what we need. Get the Platinum Empyrean.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Ultra Magnus Tactician deck and find out what happens when everyone tries to go big. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Ultra Magnus Tactician today, and today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jeff. Taking a look at this opener, we have a few lands and a lot of high drops, so I'm gonna mulligan that one into better lands. Lands, ramp. Okay, yeah, I like that a little better. Card draw right here. Okay, yeah, this is solid. Keep this. I see Jeff is a man of culture, as he's also running Route, and I love Route. A lot of tap lands we're looking at, but I think we go for the landscape first, just on the off chance that we get a Soul Ring or something like that. Pass like that. Soul Guide Lantern for opponent. Stern Constable. Discard a card, tap target creature. Oh, I know what deck this is. This is Greasefang. Look, now we'll take a look at what our opponent's got here. We got a Radiant, a Greasefang, and Ludvec plus Sidar. Grateful Apparition. Wait, is this the level up deck? What deck is he playing? He said he was going to play something that I said I saw before and I liked and wanted to see more of, except I haven't been playing much of late, so that was probably 2 months ago, so I don't remember what deck this is. But we'll give those a read in a minute. Brings back to our turn. There's a Nature's Lore. Do we have any untapped lands? Tapped, tapped, and tapped. Now, I guess we go for the Triome then. But the Nature's Lore will also help because it's something we can do next turn unless we draw an untapped land for some reason. But yeah, so far I'm feeling decent about this hand. Let's take a look at our commander. Oh man, these Transformer cards have so much text on them. Here we go. 7 mana for a 7/7, more than meets the eye. Ward 2, whenever it attacks, you may put an artifact creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. If you do, convert it at end of combat. On the backside, it has Living Metal, which says, as long as it's your turn, this vehicle is also a creature. It has haste and formidable. Whenever it attacks, attacking creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. If those creatures have total power 8 or greater, convert Ultra Magnus. Yeah. There's a Soul Ring for opponent. That will speed them up into a Shadow Spear. Start taking a look at what our opponents are playing. First up is Annihilator 7, piloting Radiant Archangel. There's one. Blast from the Past. 5 mana 3/3 with flying and vigilance. Radiant Archangel gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield with flying. Cool little card. Was sort of the mono white Angels deck for a long time, but now there are many more better mono white legendary angel options. The biggest downfall with it is just that it requires a lot of other creatures to be on the battlefield, and with angels, particularly in mono white, that's a tough thing to do. Means that you probably need to dodge some board wipes, so you're gonna need some protection. Also means you're gonna need to ramp really well, and you know, the protection is definitely in the wheelhouse for white, but casting a 7-drop and then being able to leave up 2 or 3 for a protection spell is not white's forte. When you add another color to the mix, that tends to get a little bit easier, but that said, if they can get it going, it's kind of cool, right? Just because yeah, it's in this weird spot where, like, all right, so if you have 4 other angels in play, what does it become, a 7/7? But the fact of you having 4 other angels in play means you can probably kill at least a player, right? So it is strange in that way, at least in terms of like Angel Tribal. It is entirely possible that they just do like a cheap flyers thing, and that could actually be pretty cool because there are a lot of like decent like who are those guys that ran for the longest time there? Remorseful Cleric and Selfless Spirit, right? Great little cards. There's a plane, so we can actually get to the Kodama's Reach, which will be nice. Play the planes, play the Kodama's Reach, or, well, I think it's too late now. I was thinking maybe we go for the Myriad Landscape, but maybe we do that next turn. What colors do we have? This one makes every color. I don't really know what the color distribution is in this deck. Let's take a look. It seems fairly evenly split. I guess we'll go 2 planes right here. There's probably an Emeria, I'm guessing, maybe. Put a planes in, and then we'll look to get other colors with our other ramp cards here. Oh, right. Oh, no, I confused myself. I thought I was cracking the landscape. Well, we'll get different colors with the landscape then. The landscape requires 2 of the same. The Cultivate does not. Oops. A Greasefang into play for Sergeant Flintlock, and that is their commander, by the way. Talked about this one on a few occasions. Really cool deck. Lots of really unique interactions. Cares about discarding a lot, but then we'll give Greasefang a read here. 3 mana, 4/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return target vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of your next end step. Really cool interactions with this thing, and it can turn into a little bit of a control deck with Sky Sovereign, which is one they tend to go for quite a bit. I think is there one other one that's also kind of nasty. Yeah, it's an interesting little card. Also got Key to the City, works beautifully. what he's got going. And we started talking about it a little bit. D-Manny is piloting Ludvec Necro Alchemist and Sidar Kondo of Jamora. I don't remember what he's doing with this deck, so we're just gonna have to keep a weather eye, see what he's up to. Sidar is the one that I always have to read. 2/5 flanking. Creatures your opponents control without flying or reach can't block creatures with power 2 or less, so it's unblockable for small creatures. I don't know why it's so hard to keep that ability straight. Oh, it is the level up deck, nice. So it's been a long time since the last time he's played it, so he's probably had a chance to work it out a little bit and get it refined, so I'm curious to see how things go with some revisions. Grateful Apparition on the attack, yeah, okay, so yep, that makes sense with the Proliferate, so no counters on anything yet, which is unfortunate, but you know, if they can get that little bit going, if they can get a first counter on there, maybe get one other thing with the counter, that'll be some pretty good value. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Naya Panorama. What are we doing this turn? We want to get Nature's Lore. We also want to crack the Myriad Landscape, I think. So I think we just go hard ramp. Need to use the green. Get the Nature's Lore. Get a... How many basics do we have? 2. We can get the Cinderglade. Get a Cinderglade. Next, for our next trick, crack the Myriad Landscape. Now it's got to be 2 of the same. We'll go for the green right here. And then we'll get this tap land in. And this actually works out pretty well. Choose a color. We'll choose... Can't choose red. We have a bunch of green. We have a bunch of more white. Saw like a triple white in the deck. I'm not sure what it was, but we have ramped. It is turn 4, and we have 7 lands in play. That is some ramp. And importantly, we've now worked it out that we have 2 untapped lands that we can play, which is really nice. Radiant into play. Cool art on this card. Very unique in the game. They don't really make angels look like this anymore. Also, I've talked about the art a lot. Like, I like that there's not that much happening in the background of this card. Like, now they put so much stuff in the card, right? Like, you know, it just gets cluttered. And when you have like these elaborate backgrounds where they're trying to show like the world that this creature inhabits, it does make the image in the front stick out a little bit less, I think, in most cases. So like, this is a cool card, but like obviously there's much more happening in the background, right? The character doesn't quite pop off as much. I don't know. The one that I always think of is like the original Achroma. The background of that card is like, there really isn't all that much happening, and it just makes Achroma stick out so well, and just she looks awesome. So same sort of thing here. It's that old school style of art where there isn't a ton in the background. In some sense, I kind of miss that. It is cool what they do with the world building. Like you look at, I don't know, something like this, like, yeah, they're obviously trying to convey everything that's happening on the plane that we're in, right? Same thing here, like, look how much is happening. So yeah, I don't know. I like the, what just happened? Opponent attacked with Greed. Thought that was just going to be like a light poke. Flintlock cast Scare Tiller. They attacked each other and they traded. That seems really bad for both of them. Huh. Maybe Flintlock thought they weren't going to call his bluff, and they did? Weird. Yep, level up on the Vindicator. Which one's this? This is... Oh, that's an Anthem. Creatures get +1/+1, then +2/+2. Yeah. Grateful Apparition coming our way. We're gonna get poked. Level up the thing. And that was sort of the idea that I posited when I first played the level up tribal deck, is that you can either go the mana ramp route, and that's the route that I went, where it's just like, make as much mana as humanly possible. If you guys haven't seen that game, you should go check it out. It is one of the more interesting decks that I've played in a very long time. There was a moment in that game where I had like 4 of the best mana producing cards in Commander in play, and it's still not enough mana. These things are so mana hungry. It is actually insane. Anyway, excited to see more of his deck. Brings back to our turn. There's a Phyrexian Triniform. Could be cool late in the game here. I really want the card draw. Maybe the card draw is greedy, but I think we should get the card draw. Let's get this and see how much space we have left after. What does this one say? Platoon Dispenser. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more other creatures, draw a card. Cool. How much is our commander? I don't think we can afford it. That's 4 mana, 5 if we play a land. Yeah, that's 7. We don't have 7. So we'll just play the planes, play the Platoon Dispenser, get the card draw. For a game like this, I want to set up to sustain a little bit. I want to take the extra card over just rushing our commander out there and trying to get the biggest thing in our hand, which is, you know, undoubtedly a strong play, but if a board wipe goes off, you know, that one extra card might matter. We do pick up a Lion Sash, which is just a really good card. Resplendent Angel. Yeah. This is one angel that I never really run all that much. I don't play Life Gain as much. Also, I think they're horrendously expensive in paper, so like it hasn't made my paper deck for that reason, my paper angel deck. But the fact that it's a 3 mana angel with flying means that it's very good for carrying those early game equipments like Sword of the Animist and Mask of Memory, so like that is a reason to run it. Also, there's a Pyre of Heroes, so they could sack it if they want to. Seems pretty good. Opponent's got some ramp. Oh man. They have Soul Ring, hearing Nykthos and Nyx Lotus tells me that it probably is the Angel Tribal deck, also in combination with that, because this is the type of ramp you run when you're playing mono white Angel Tribal. I mean, you need to get to like 10 mana at least, because that's you casting a 7-drop and leaving up a Teferi's Protection, and you know, it just takes a lot to do that in mono white. I do think that Nyx Lotus is slightly undervalued for mono white. There's probably not a ton of other places that I would run it. Maybe some mono red decks, maybe, depends on what it's doing, but I do think that this is well suited for mono white, because mono white does tend to be, a lot of mono white decks are still very creature heavy, so creatures just in general kind of give you more pips to feed into the Nyx Lotus. So you know, it's fragile, and I've had Nyx Lotuses get shot, and the fact that it comes in tapped is absolutely painful. But on the other hand, if it does survive and you have 2 or 3 things, it gives you that 5, 8, or 10 extra mana late in the game that allows you to have that really big turn, and that's important. You know, so like when people talk about ramp, they're like, oh, white's getting ramp where, you know, it's like 1 land at a time. Let's say like an Archaeomancer's map, which is a good card, but Archaeomancer's map is not 10 extra mana late in the game to, you know, play another big angel and leave up a protection spell and equip a sword and do all this and that. Scare Tiller on the attack. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. KO swears by this thing. It's always a little bit slow for my liking. That land is a Cabal Coffers. Mana neutral on the Coffers right now. 1 more swamp and they'll be positive. D-Manny says, is it strong? No, but boy is it a fun puzzle sometimes. I wholeheartedly agree. Arcane Signet. Titania's Command. Oh god, that text is so small. Still struggling from LASIK here. Search your library for up to 2 land cards onto the battlefield tapped. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on creatures you control. Okie dokie. Terrible. You guys ever heard that song Double Vision by Foreigner? That's how I feel right now. Now if I could just get the Foreigner belt to get rid of the Double Vision, it'd be in great shape. He's got a 4/4 Grateful Apparition now. Gonna poke over to Flintlock. Yeah, pumping that up. It's gonna chip away some damage. 4 is a chunk. 1 and 2 is a chip. 4 is a chunk. And he's gonna get to draw with the Ludvec. How does this thing work? Anyone but him? Beginning of each player's end step, that player may draw a card if a player other than you lost the anyone but them. Okie dokie. We could probably leave them on a white deck alone for at least a minute. They're down to 3 cards. They do have a Pyre of Heroes, which is pretty good, but they're down to 3 cards, right? As long as it's not Avacyn or Sarah's Emissary, everything's fine, right? Those are the 2 that just wreck your face. That being the case, I think we poke into the Greasefang deck. How does all this thing work? You may cast this card converted. So if we cast it converted, it has haste and does stuff. Oh, maybe we could have cast it last turn. Oops. And if we have, I think we'll get to draw. Yeah, we'll try it. Play the Naya Panorama. Let's try this thing converted. We draw a card. It is, ooh, that's Triplicate Titan. Those are pretty good. Also, I didn't know those were on Magic Online. That's cool. I feel like they were missing for a long time. Anyway, I guess we go to combat now. That's a 5/8. That's pretty big. That's a 6/9. That's also pretty big. Attacking creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn if those creatures have total power 8 or greater. We do indeed have 8 or greater, so I think we just split it up here. We'll go 4 and 4. See, white deck, 4-color deck with white. The question is whether to play the Lion Sash afterwards or not. I might play it as, reconfigure it becomes not a creature. What does that take? 4 mana. I don't want to just get it swept away into a board wipe. I might just wait a second on that. Opponent blocks. Not looking to take the damage. I guess it's a 7/7. That is fair. I think the plan is going to be sit on Sejiri's Shelter and crack the Naya Panorama. Seems like a reasonable place to be. I don't know what the removal situation is going to look like here, so I don't want to just like, we have a little bit of card draw. We don't have tons and tons. I don't want to just like run our pieces into a board wipe. We do draw an extra card. It's a land. We have our next land drop lined up. And this thing got converted somewhere at the end, I think. The Angel's coming back in our direction. That seems fair. It's a 4/4 lifelink flying trample. Good set of keywords there. So they'll gain that life right back and chip us down a little bit. I guess it's a chunk, as we defined earlier in this video. Let's see what their follow-up is, because they should be set up to make some plays here. Twilight Shepherd. Spicy. Really cool card. Just like not always the most practical. You kind of need to be built for it. Though, it is just good against a route, right? Maybe I need to look at this card more. 6 mana, 5/5 flying Vigilance by itself is reasonable. Then with that persist ability, you have my attention. I've known about this card for a long time too. I played Standard during this set. Just never quite made my Angel deck. 6 is really crowded. 6 and 7 is where all the good Angels are, so you gotta make some tough decisions. This one has never really bubbled to the top for me, but the more that I think about the role that protection plays in this game right now, protection and recursion, this is doing a little of both. Ooh, Bone Miser. Eek, that's no good. That's the type of card that might like start drawing out a board wipe, because because that thing can get out of hand. Tell you what, cool art on this card. Again, not a lot in the background. The angel's almost the entire picture. Very memorable, very cool. Love it. You know what? I might just throw it into my angel deck just cuz. It just looks fun. See how it actually performs. If you guys have ever had this experience, so I mean, I've talked about this here and there. Sean had an Archon deck that he played one time as mono white, and so it has a lot of filler because there aren't like enough Archons to make full Archon tribal, but he had like multiple layers of protection and indestructible. He had like Sun Titan with Selfless Spirit, which is repeatable and horrendous to try to get through, and then he had something else protecting that. And if you can establish multiple layers of protection, which angels can, right? There's a lot of angels that do it. Obviously we talked about the best two, Avacyn and Sarah's Emissary, but then as you start getting into like the secondary things like Adarkar Valkyrie, Ameria Shepherd, Twilight Shepherd, the one that I never really ran is, was it Aegis Protector? Aegis something? The angel that gives another creature an indestructible counter. Like, you start stacking all those together and you can create a board that's pretty difficult to interact with. And, you know, that's one way to win a game. You know, if you are the white deck and you know you're going to be doing that, you can load up on the board wipes. And, you know, the thing you need to watch out for in that case is black removal and blue removal with the minus and with the bounce. But there are options to cover that now with, I mean, obviously Teferi's Protection, but also, was it the spirit guy that phases everything out? Forgot his name. It'd be interesting to do like a very Pillow Forty kind of just all the protection, all the pillow fort, you can't interact with my board type of deck. Like, it doesn't need to kill particularly fast. I just need all of my things to stay in play and like never let them leave. I've been thinking more and more about Pillow Fort because like some of the control decks that I play do get a little Pillow Forty. The Angel deck, when it's up and going, like, I mean, Sarah's Emissary by itself kind of turns you into Pillow Fort, choosing creatures. You're just like, I can't take damage now. You know, my evolution as a commander player has been interesting, right? Because obviously I started as like a very hard aggro guy, and you know, I was playing a lot of Magic Online 1v1 at that time, which is like very, very competitive. I mean, there's like turn 2 decks in that meta right now. Like, it's insane how fast they can win. And I was trying to compete with that space with the aggro, but like, as I've shifted more back into multiplayer, right, it's just like, I want to let my friends play the game, basically, right? I can build a horrendously fast aggro deck that if no one interacts, people will die really quickly, but the second someone has a board wipe, you're just kind of out of it. So I've shifted away from that style of play, and even with the good aggro decks, I still try to keep it like more mid-rangey where you're balanced against, you know, different things that might happen. But in all that time too, I've grown to appreciate other play styles. Like, I love Ashling, which is basically just mono red control, mono red burn control. Very few creatures in the deck. Tap creature tribal value control, basically. We need to do some stuff here before I forget. We're gonna crack this Naya panorama. Get a mountain. I actually really, I want to play it again. Maybe I'll do that tonight. We'll see. I really want to play, what's her name? Lauren of the Third Path. That was a fun deck. It's not like insanely strong, but once you get the engine going, you can shoot a lot of stuff. And just like, it's very annoying. And I kind of like those like very annoying kind of decks now. Like something that gives you a different look, something you haven't really seen before, and it doesn't need to win super fast. Like, you can let your opponents do stuff. Like this level up deck, right? I want to see what this level up deck's doing. By the way, we should check out what they're doing. So opponent discards a card using the Stern Constable to tap the Grateful Apparition, has seen enough of the Grateful Apparition, and rightfully so. It's a 5/5, and it's pumping up the rest of the team here. Oh my god. This is giving everything +1/+1, and it itself is a 6/9, which is pretty big. This is the can't be blocked one. It's only a 2/2. What's this one? Enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it. Remove an indestructible counter. Another target creature gains indestructible. Put a +1/+1 counter and a lifelink counter on that creature. Oh, that all seems good. That's really good with Proliferate. And Ludvec's gonna come our way. Yep. Yeah, like, I want to be able to see this go off, so, you know, I've shifted away from the going as fast and hard as humanly possible route. Check what side of this thing I'm on. So we're on the whenever it attacks, you may put an artifact creature card onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Probably going to be this Triplicate Titan. Rishkar's expertise is also really good. But our hand's like mostly full right now. So as weird as this is, I might wait a little while on that because we're actually like still kind of full on resources. Now, if board wipes start flying, that might get weird, but I'll take that chance. Play this Plains. Go to combat. Do we want to leave ourselves wide open? Not completely convinced that we do here. Maybe we leave this guy back. I'll swing into D-Manny. Wait, am I indestructible? We're not indestructible. I'll swing into Flintlock then. And that'll be the Ultra Magnus trigger. We'll drop in the Triplicate Titan. We'll send that one over to D-Manny because they haven't really taken any damage yet. We'll draw a card off doing that. Still at 7. Draw another land. Opponent's gonna throw the zombie in front. Yeah, that's fine. Trample would be nice. There's a couple things that give trample. There's the green enchantment that's like trample and card draw. I'm not sure if that's in here. You probably want it. If not, what's that? The red one too is also not bad. Ferocity of the Wilds, I think. Attacking non-human creatures you control have 1/0 and trample. Really been liking this for certain decks. Doesn't go everywhere, but decks that need trample, particularly in red. Green can get trample like very easily, and there's a million ways to get trample. But red, you got to think about it just a little bit more. Ember Cleave is nice, but they're kind of pricey. Don't have them for every single deck. Ferocity is good for like more go wide type stuff. So D-Manny takes a hit, goes down to 29. We'll get that Lion Sash in. This thing flips over to the other side. We'll reconfigure the Lion Sash so it's not liable to be shot or blown up by standard removal. And we have some Graveyard Exile, in case that becomes relevant. Which is actually fantastically relevant against Flintlock, now that I'm thinking about it. They have no vehicles in their graveyard, that's interesting. We draw 2 with the instant, man. We are drawn like crazy now. And given how much we've ramped, opponents still have more stuff than us, but our resource generation, I think, is... unless opponents make some big plays over the next turn here, our resource generation is really going to start to take over. I guess opponents are decently set up, so there's the Nyx Lotus with the triple white in play, right? That's 5 extra mana at least. Coffers slowly getting there. They need more swamps, I think. There's a 4 swamp, so it's at least positive, but, you know, Coffers is very good. D-Manny is more reliant on his creatures. He has decent mana. He's got some mana rocks out there. He's not doing too bad, I guess. Immortal Sun is very solid. We are wide open in the air. Sends this over to D-Manny. Yeah, D-Manny kind of threatening with the level up tribal deck. And the 5/5 our way. Yep. Do we have to block with this thing? God, leave it back as a blocker knight. Oh, it has vigilance. Never mind. All good. I love games where vigilance becomes really important. Because it's not every game, but there are definitely situations like this Twilight Shepherd is a 6/6 flying vigilance. They're probably just going to be getting damage in all game with it, right? And it's not the easiest thing to attack into. Our deck is reasonably well suited to attack past it, but there are many decks that aren't, right? Like many decks that aren't this deck. This can look like a brick wall. Opponent's going to make a 4/4. Okay. Yeah, I see you. We're down to 23 too. We got to be a little careful. May need to route, which this is a vehicle currently, so it's not a creature, which wouldn't be a bad time to do it. We'll see how things shake up here. If D-Manny tries to make like a big attack on us, then we probably think about the route, or if anyone tries to put a hurting on us. Key to the City and land tax. When does it activate the Key to the City? Make the Scaretiller unblockable. Nice. There's a little combo. You got the unblockable Key to the City, you got the Scaretiller, and you got the land tax. So you can always have the land, and 2, you can have something to discard to the Key to the City. All seems pretty good. They did discard a teleportation circle somewhere in there, which I'm sure they wanted that one. That's a very good card. Mirrorworks is a spicy one. Part of me wants to gain the life with this, but the artifacts and enchantments are slowly showing up here, so Mirrorworks isn't one that I'm like thrilled to leave on the battlefield. There's a Rebecca and a Lena. Is that protection from 2? No, that's not how that works. That's still really good though. Serum Snare. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand if that permanent had mana value 3 or less. Proliferate. Cool. I think I did do a bad last turn though in that I did not leave 7 mana for route. I only left 6. Hopefully no one, well, I guess they don't know about the route, but that's kind of a thing. I guess there's not really a lot of artifacts over here, so Heliod's doesn't really save us, but we can block 1. I guess we can gain life. Let's see what D-Manny's thinking this turn. He's got some damage to work with. He's got some indestructible tricks to work with. All seems pretty good. This thing's probably going to proliferate again, which is kind of a nightmare. Tecuthal. If you would proliferate twice. Oh my. Remove 3 counters to give it indestructible. Seems good. Of note, I haven't had a chance to play a ton of these yet. I would like to do that at some point. As I'm trying to get caught up on videos here, basically my plan is to film a game every day for the next 7 to 10 days. Hopefully in that time we'll actually get a look at more of these things, but I noticed that the cost on the red one is significantly higher than the cost on the other ones. Discarding 2 cards in red is like not an easy thing to make up. Getting rid of 3 counters here, like, in a situation like this, they can part with 3 counters really easily. Some of the other ones too, like the cost is just not as significant. Refilling your hand in red, little weird, usually involves a wheel, and, that impacts the rest of the table. There are times where you do not want to refill your opponents. What's the other ability in this thing? We should probably give it a read. Oh, Unearth. We can make a soldier. Okay, we can make a blocker if we need to. We got some things going on the attack. That one can't be blocked. They're holding the rest back. Okay. Question is, what are we going to do with all of our mana? I mean, we probably got to exile a bunch of Flintlock stuff, which I'm sure they won't be thrilled about, but we actually didn't really plan like that much else to do. Grateful Apparition. Double proliferate. The thing that we can look at doing this turn, I think we're in pretty good shape to do it, is we go on the, which mode are we in? We're on the indestructible mode? Yeah, we're on the indestructible mode. And so if we make everything indestructible, then route seems like a pretty good place to be. And I think that's always going to be a weakness of this level up tribal deck, is that you just need your stuff to stay in play. Now, if they have a protection spell, probably actually not great for us, but if they don't, a lot of rebuilding. Tough to rebuild with that deck. End step, yeah, we can just exile a bunch of stuff. So we exile a couple things. Here's the thing, like, might be a protection spell here, might be a protection spell there. If there is, the offensive route probably looks really bad. So I might hold that route. Ooh, Keswick Wolfrun's very interesting. Play the Keswick Wolfrun. Maybe we don't have the mana, per se. Maybe more vigilance in this deck. And always watching would not be terrible. Yeah, this is interesting. Let's go to combat. While we can, I think we get a little damage into Annihilator. They're at 37, highest at the table. I want to get this back to the other side, so I'm going to send this into... We'll send it into Flintlock, and we'll just keep eating the zombies. We need someone else to drop the board wipe, because then when all the protection spells come out, we can route over the top of them, which will be incredible. Yep, we're going to eat the zombie. Annihilator down to 28. Zombie goes down. Man, like, I feel like we got to cast something, but, like, I want to cast this, but we can't leave up the stuff we need to leave up if we do. Kind of frustrating. All of our stuff just kind of dies. This makes bodies. I think this one comes back, which isn't the worst either. Yeah, I think we're just sitting on everything. Pass like that. Sort of a tenuous board. And, like, you know, if you really want to be a quote-unquote good commander player, you really want to be analyzing the board, particularly when people have mana open. You want to be analyzing the board from the perspective of, if they have the protection spell when I cast this, is life going to be terrible? And then adjusting your play accordingly. Now, there'll be times where you might think they have it and they don't, and you know, take your foot off the gas sooner than you should be taking your foot off the gas. But you have to respect the protection spells now, because it's such a big tempo change if you can just protect against the board wipe and lose nothing. We do need to discard. What are we actually getting rid of? I mean, the lands, probably? Like, I want to have the next land drop. I'll get rid of the lands, because we'll probably draw a few more cards anyway, based on Ludvec, based on this thing, based on that thing. Immortal Sun. Flying Vigilance Trample, though, 9/9. That is difficult for most decks to get through. They can send the Angel Army our way, but they definitely lose something. I guess Twilight Shepherd covers them a little, but it's a costly attack unless they get more protection stuff. You can deter a lot with this. You can also hit equally as hard. Radiant coming back. Yeah, this is the point in the game where Radiant can start to shine a little bit. You know, if a game's just going to end in 6 turns, that might be a little quick for Radiant to kind of do her thing. But this is the type of situation where... Oh, that's all creatures on the battlefield. That is a 10/10, is what that is. That gets through the Triplicate Titan. Okie dokie. Yeah, that works. No board wipes this game, so, you know. This game brought to you by no board wipes so far. Ooh, that's Safara. Oh, that's not a good one. Yeah, okay. Now things are going to get a little serious. They do tap out for that, though. All their creatures, which is a big deal. We do not have 2 pieces of removal. And even if we did, so if the Twilight Shepherd dies, it's just going to bring everything back. I mean, they have to recast it, but as far as board wipes go, and that's the battle, right? The battle is, okay, you have all the protection stuff, and then people just run all of the exile removal now. You can see Farewells and Paths and Swords, and I mean, I think there's some green-black exile too, isn't there? 12 to Encore the Triniform, that is a bit. The black deck with a Toxic Deluge could actually be fairly effective. Greasefang back to play. Sanctum Spirit. Discard a historic card, it gains indestructible. Okay. I guess we could go, because with this we can get back the route, right? Yeah, okay, so maybe we try like end step route. That will get rid of the Safara. Depending on what protection spells happen, we can reconstruct history to try it again. Opponent discards a thing, making some value. Yeah, they really haven't found their... Oh, there's a vehicle. But unfortunately, we've got this thing, which is just kind of bad for them. What's this do, though? Turn target creature card or vehicle, mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, he's not gonna love this, but it's starting to get late. For once in my life, I'm actually running graveyard removal. Seems to never happen. I just get abused by people's graveyards so much. Whatever they were trying to do, I'm sure started with that, so, you know. They're still sitting on the Soul Guide Lantern, too, so if things really become... Ooh. Soul Guide's interesting, which means the Reconstruct play may not work. There's something to think about. If we don't get attacked mercilessly, maybe we try end-step Heliod's Intervention, because that might draw out some of the protection spells, and then we can still have the route, so we don't have to die to things. Opponent's gonna make a thing unblockable. Discards, makes mana. Opponent's moving some in... Oh, right. that. Oh. Yeah, I don't know that that route's actually doing all that much. They have 1 more mana, 2 more mana, 6 more mana. So they can move 3 counter. Oh, God. Ugh. We may have waited too long on the route. Not great. But, like, the time in which we would have routed, like, the board wasn't that threatening. And I guess, you know, you can mess up tempo and stuff like that, which is fine. But there was never a moment where I'm like, we need to play this route. Everyone's been, like, playing it kind of cool. But now everyone's got, like, their defense online. And that is terrible. There an Ugin in this deck? Kind of need an Ugin. There's a Blasphemous Act, which is not helpful with all the indestructible. There is a Farewell. So we might be on rich cards for the Farewell. This one's very indestructible. Gotta proliferate because, of course, who is indestructible? Those 2. So I think we can discard the route if we have to discard more next turn, because on this board it actually doesn't do anything. That's not great. Sacrifice it to destroy target artifact or enchantment or proliferate. Could shoot down our Triplicate Titan. I would probably burn the protection spell for that. This is doing a lot of blocking for us. They're gonna go for the Immortal Sun. I'm in for that. There's the Teferis. If we route, it would only catch the Sephara, and it would also blow up all of our stuff and like leave us wide open. It's not amazing. We could Heliod's Intervention. We might Heliod's Intervention for life. Yeah, honestly, based on what's happening, because even like if we just blow up all of someone's stuff, there's so many creatures out there that like we can't deal with that they just come kill us for blowing up all their stuff. So I think it's Heliod's Intervention for life is the plan we're on. We got to do something with our mana here, and we'll have the route. No, hopefully we have enough mana to execute all this. But Tameo, Field Researcher. Oh, I don't think I like this one. Tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. They don't untap. Ooh. They might be on the card draw mode, though. They do not activate it. Interesting. See what happens now. That is a 10-10 unblockable. Indestructible. Yep. Heliod's Intervention for life. I think that's what we're on. He's playing it surprisingly cool over there. That's a 10-10 with lifelink and indestructible. I'm surprised that's not going in anywhere, although guess they want to leave the blockers up. But, I mean, this thing's huge. All this stuff is huge. Though, I guess there's just so many creatures out there that, you know, whoever you attack, you're wide open to the next few. I think he wants some vigilance too. Based on how this deck plays of like having a bunch of creatures that are trying to slowly get built up and always watching, probably going to do a lot for you. And I guess like, you know, this is the meta for this channel where we all tend to run a lot of creature decks, but obviously vigilance less relevant if you're playing against, you know, more combo-y type stuff, but down to 13. Ew. I tell you what, this card is pretty skill intensive. It gives you 2 really good options, and choosing the best one can be tricky, right? We could have gone the removal mode right there, but the removal mode, I feel like, gets us killed against this board state. And, like, we kind of need Flintlock to be able to do stuff, because they're the ones that are going to have more removal to potentially soften this board up. God, 8 mana off the Everflowing. He has proliferated a lot. And he's going to do it again. Twice, because of this thing. They are getting large. We might need it to fairies of our own very soon here. Settle the Wreckage. So, for the longest time, I've been a fan of Comeuppance, because, as opposed to Settle the Wreckage, because Comeuppance does not give them anything back, but increasingly, right? Indestructible and Graveyard Recursion in a weird way. Also indestructible. I think the day of Settle the Wreckage is here, where things become indestructible so easily now that the indestructible matters a lot. I would settle for either, but for this board state, settle is going to be much better, and I find myself seeing that more and more. We're like, man, this board state really needs a settle more than it needs Replicating Ring. Nice. This is fantastic for proliferate decks, because, you know, the way he's going over there, it won't take him long to get the big boost of mana, and even, like, there's probably about 2 turns left in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds a way to get this thing to pop before those turns are over. So far he's gone for all of the, like, just sort of the common beat stick type level up creatures. He hasn't really shown any of the crazy ability ones, where the blue one that like makes 2 copies of a spell, there's a blue one that takes extra turns, which is insane. There's a red one that shoots a lot of damage at stuff, and the black one can minus creatures, which actually wouldn't be terrible for this board state. Elspeth Resplendent coming in. Funny story, we could reconstruct history to get back the Heliod's Intervention while the Soul Guide Lantern is out of play. I don't know that that's necessarily the best use of resources. Level up. So even, I mean, if we drop in the Triniform, I think the Triniform's just gonna die. At least over here it will, right? All of his stuff is giant. Level up. Yep, gotta get that first counter on there. If a source would deal damage to you or a creature you control, prevent 1 of that damage. Oh god. That is stronger than you think, especially with like this many things in play. We're at the end step, so we should probably start doing stuff. Yeah, we're gonna gain twice X life. X is 8. Back to 29. Honestly, not as much as I was hoping. It's gonna take a lot more life than that against this board state. We need about 100. Sadbot is a blocker. It's what that is. Man, it's kind of late for the ramp. damn. I mean, I really think we're kind of on Rishkar's Hope for Farewell. Start with the Rishkars. I guess we can get a bunch of mana back if we just drop in the Gilded Lotus. Mana Geyser is a magic card. They're phased out. There's a decent number of lands over there. We did indeed find the Farewell. Yeah, let's get the Mana Geyser then. Cast without paying a mana cost. They actually don't have that many lands. Probably why they protected that Immortal Sun, because that is very, very relevant mana. Did not catch a protection spell for ourself. But might just have to be okay with that. This is a brilliant restoration. It's pretty interesting. We have a land play. We can just play the forest. Maybe we should have saved that in case we need different colors. Oops. So farewelling these two boards means we get run over by angels, which isn't amazing. It means we need the angels to be back in play. But then we have to deal with like this board state, so none of this is amazing. There are fairies in this deck? Yes. There is a Settle the Wreckage in the deck. Boy, would I love to find that. Boy, would I love to find that. Let's get this Gilded Lotus. Oh, you know what we could do? We can reconstruct history and Mana Geyser. That's a play. Okay. Get this Gilded Lotus. Add a bunch of mana. Okay. We can't get Mana Geyser and Rishkars. But I am thinking we should probably get one of them. Let's get the Mana Geyser and do it again. Wait, is there no instant on this one? One artifact, one enchantment, one instant, and one sorcery. There's the instant. There's the sorcery. Reconstruct history. Now we can gain 100 life if we just pump all the mana into the thingy. But I think the plan is just going to be throw as many things into play as humanly possible and just try to have a meat wall. Mana Geyser again. Yeah, Reconstruct History is really powerful, particularly if you have powerful cards in the graveyard. It sets up very combo-esque type of plays super easily. Get the Combustible Gear Hulk. Boy, would I feel a lot better if we could draw that Settle the Wreckage. Combustible and Elemental Bond. We'll choose Flintlock because they're low on life. Should give us the cards. Wake the Past. We're not set up for that, unfortunately. Cool card, though. And redundant with this one. Removal has to actually happen for these to be good, and they'll be very good if removal happened, but it has not. Heroic Intervention is kind of a pickup. What does Eldamri's Call do for us? Platinum Angel? Huh. I think we're getting Platinum Angel. Is Platinum Empyrean maybe better? Yeah, because we don't go negative. I think it's Platinum Empyrean time. Nice. That's funny. Yeah, Eldamri's Call. Blast Furnace Hellkite. Very silly, but not what we need. Get the Platinum Empyrean. Are we hard casting this, or are we just going to use this thing to drop it in? This would save a lot of mana. It's an 8/8. I mean, they could use a lot of things to block it and kill it, which would not be amazing. But I guess we have the Sajiri Shelter. Oh man, this thing is flying? Oh god, he has so much flying. That's awful. Yeah, we'll use our commander to drop in the Platinum Empyrean because it is very expensive. What we say this one does? Just gets big? Oh, adds more mana. This one is a flyer. Flyers are relevant. Okay, let's get the Solemn. Maybe we just hardcast the this thing, right? We don't care as much if the Triniform dies. Also, I mean, if we attack with our commander, use the ability. Get a land. Yeah, let's just get the Platinum. We'll hardcast the Platinum Empyrean. We draw a card. Settle the Wreckage? No. Sanctum of Voodoo. We have exactly enough to get the Triniform in. I honestly don't really know that I want to attack into... I mean, we get a creature, but then we're tapping stuff out, so it's harder to block. What can we do? Oh, I know what we can do. We can get this one. Molten Steel is another flyer, thankfully. I mean, I guess we have this, so as long as we can keep this in play, we'll be okay. Draw a card. Settle the Wreckage? Praying for settle. Not settle. Team Indestructible? Not awful. So if we drop that in, it would then take 5 mana. We would have exactly 5 mana remaining. We'll just get this Molten Steel Dragon as flying blockers are good. We'll pay the Phyrexian mana. Oh, we can't pay life. Oh, I see. Do I want to spend mana? Do it. That'll leave us with 4 mana, which is exactly enough for both of our protection spells. I guess that's what we're doing. Can't pay life. We draw a card. Harmonize. More card draw. Beautiful. Save that for next turn. We have already played a land. Getting this thing even matter? I think we just stay put. We draw another card at the end step. We draw just one card. Cascading Cataracts. Not help. 15 cards in hand. We're gonna have to discard some stuff. We have the Mass Reanimates. So that being the case, I think we dump some artifacts. I guess the question is, do we want to cast the Mass Reanimates? I don't know. Discard some lands. Route really isn't pulling its weight. This one gives them haste, which is probably better than Brilliant Restoration. Cascading Cataracts doesn't seem necessary. Still 2 cards over. I guess discard this thing then. One more. This is tough. Wait, do we get this one? No, that's Farewell. We need Farewell. I guess it's the land. I mean, that one's nice because it finds stuff, but True Conviction right here would be very interesting. Chroma's Will would actually be far worse because that'd be unblockable. Yep, there it is. They had it. We have a... Oh, our life total still can't change. That's good. So other people might die? Maybe this is good for us. We're roughly 20 cards ahead of our opponents now after the Rishkars and all of our card draw. Permanent your opponent's control, lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Okay. Oh, I forgot that was hanging around. Board wipe, austere command, enchantments, and big creatures. Ew. Well, I wasn't counting on the Shadow Spear. That's gonna mess some stuff up. Hopefully, so opponents can activate this thing. Hopefully we can, like, who's got the Teferis? Someone had the Teferis. D-Manny has it. Okay, that's not good. I mean, he can easily kill both of us. Yeah, I was not counting on a Chroma's Will. I also wasn't counting on the Shadow Spear. Yeah, those are problems. Really wanted to find that settle. Enchantments and big creatures. That's every creature we have? Yeah, it's not great. And they still have some mana left, so yeah, we'll try it. Maybe they forget. It's resolved, but they can still respond. They didn't! They forgot! We're gonna live! I mean, he can put a hurting on Flintlock, but the Teferis and our Platinum Imperium will negate a lot of that Chroma's Will. Unless they've got something else. We've got one piece of protection left. I broke the chat somehow. Archangel of Tithes. Ooh, that's kind of annoying. Actually, it's going to make it hard to kill them. Mask of Memory. Yeah, there's the big extra mana, so they've got 8 mana in the pool off of the Nykthos. That's what I talk about. Like, late in the game like this, you can get all that extra mana. It's a big deal. Endless Atlas. Boots. There, I fixed chat. I'm just going to crack the Soul Guide to draw a card, which is good, because we have things in the graveyard that matter. That's the problem with Soul Guide, is that you get greedy and you crack it for the card draw. You don't get the graveyard exile out of it, and that is why I like things that, like, don't tempt you in a different direction. I mean, there's time. I mean, also because I have a bunch of them, but, like, I still like Tormod's Crypt a lot because it has one job to do. They're gonna Pyre of Heroes off of the Twilight Shepherd. Pretty cool move. What are they getting? You can get some cool stuff at Sarah's Emissary is the thing. What'd they get? They do indeed go Sarah's Emissary. So, well, this is a very Pillow 40 game now. It's gonna be interesting. Boots on the Emissary. As long as the Imperion doesn't go down, which we're not actually going to have the mana to leave up our spot protection, which is unfortunate, but if the Imperion doesn't go down and or if we don't die, we have the Farewell this turn and both the fairies are gone, so reasonably confident that the Farewell's getting through. Now, the problem is that, like, we have a lot of good stuff in play, so we too would be losing many things, but I guess we attack first before any of that happens. But one floating, yep, gotta let that go. Very important, but for the Sajiri. So, like, the question is, how much do you send? Does he still think that he can kill us? Send all the ones with Vigilance. Right, that makes sense. I think he's not seeing the Imperion, because the ones at us should just get blunted. I don't think he'll gain life off them either. So we'll gain 20 from Flintlock, and it'd be, no, 5 plus 8. Well, he's gonna get a bunch off Flintlock. Mask of Memory. He set it up so that he'll do the double strike because he'll gain more life off the double strike. Also, 2 hits with the mask, which is pretty smart. Oh, you know what we could do? We could route our own stuff and then Farewell because we have the Wake the Pass. Wait, commander damage. Should have went Platinum Angel. Crap. Oh, man. I should have got the Platinum Angel, but there's no way to know, right? I mean, I guess I could have thought more about the commander damage thing, but I play Platinum Imperion almost never, so it does not come up very often. Yeah, there was a couple things that went down there. The Shadow Spear made things complicated. We got lucky that they didn't activate it, but then they were able to just get through it anyway. Wasn't counting on a Chroma's Will. Really wanted that Settle the Wreckage to have the extra safety. Just couldn't dig our way to it. Honestly, I mean, I think the issue more than anything is that we waited too long on the route. If we reset the board at some point before all the protection stuff's going, then we've got a reasonable chance. Because we had so many resources that game. We've out-resourced our opponent by a ton. Like, I mean, we made 40 extra mana with the Mana Geysers, and we drew a ton with the Rishkars and the other stuff. So, yeah, we had all the resources, just didn't put all the pieces together, maybe hung back a little too far, definitely waited too long on the route. And honestly, too, or because he's out of play with the fairies means we can't cast the Farewell. Like, if we can just cast the Farewell, then life's fine, right? This will be interesting, though. Well, he's got to deal with this. Creatures don't do damage now. But, oh, he has protection from creatures, so he dies in a turn. Unless he can answer this, he dies. Sunfall, you say? Exile all creatures. There you go. That's how you start. Yeah. Sunfall, getting it done. Anyone's game at this point. Sort of a question of who can rebuild better. Sidar. They have a giant incubation token. Thrumming Bird, nice. Have they not been using this Tameo? Oh, blocked by the Immortal Sun. That's why. Also this one too. Blocked by the Immortal Sun. Archangel of Thune. 88 is a lot to chip through. Now, because it's a level up deck that proliferates like crazy, like, I mean, we saw they just had a bunch of giant creatures, so it's not unreasonable to get to that damage, but the problem that he's looking at right now is that he only has 1 card. Mask of Memory, oh yeah, to suit up the Angel. Yeah, the battle he's fighting is that Annihilator is much more card draw right now. Boots. There's a world, too, in which we could have Heliod's Intervention and blew up all the artifacts and enchantments. We probably could have got about, 8 of them, I think. And, I mean, I would definitely hit the Nyx Lotus, which slows down some of the mana that was used to kill us in that turn. But there were enough things out there that was like, plus our life total was getting low, so I just wanted to gain the life. And then, like, doing that didn't necessarily solve any problems because there were still just creatures everywhere. Tamiyo goes down, pumps up the Angel. Oh, even got the Tecuthal. Wow. That hurts, right? Because that makes things really strong, doubling the proliferate. So D-Manny needs to do some card drawing. He'll get at least one extra one at the end step with this thing. Transforms the Incubator. I mean, that Incubator's sizable, but he could use a big card draw spell. Echo Mage. Spicy. Yeah, that's a cool card when you get that leveled up. I don't know if that's necessarily enough against this board, though. White doesn't tend to play a lot of spells, so he's going to need his own spells to really take advantage of that. Levels it up one time. Yep. Levels it up again. Levels it up again. He's just paying. I mean, he's got a Thrumming Bird. I would probably, like, proliferate and do that. There it is. And I think he left 2 blue mana up, so he can double a spell. Yeah, so white's not the spell color, right? There are some, but there's just not as many. Though if they try, like, a Swords or a Path, well, I guess the boots are protected, but yeah, send them. This is going to be an interesting race. I do like Annihilator's position a little bit better. If D-Manny, he needs to draw something good with this Ludvec at the end step. Or hope Annihilator doesn't have that much, right? If this was their big play, then... But, Mortal Sun plus Mask, they're probably going to run into something. Down to 72. Thrumming Bird, pump everything up. Radiant back to play. It's a 6/6, that's okay, but there is a 14/14 out there. 18 now. I guess it slows the... No, Thrumming Bird will be unblockable. No, because it has flying, right? Okay, yeah, flying. Yeah, I mean, that'll slow things down a bit. Oh, he has the emblem from Tamiyo? Wow, his spells are free. He just needs to find cards. How did he get that? Coming in with the Angel. Yep. Angel and Mask of Memory trigger. Cool Plains. What's that out of? Oh, Lord of the Rings. Replicating Ring. Gets a land. I'm sure he didn't want to land. Be looking for 2 pieces of gas for sure. Proliferate. That tells me he probably doesn't have a lot. Still, you can bash with this thing, though, and this thing's getting bigger. Still 4 turns away versus a 2-turn clock 1 if they drop another creature. Yeah, sounds it all. He should leave the Thrumming Bird back, actually. Thrumming Bird can block the big one. Oh, it has trample. Never mind. He can block this one, though. Yeah, he's going to block the Thrumming Bird. Yeah, he could buy himself another turn with Thrumming Bird, but to what avail is sort of the question. This deck, it just needs a lot of creatures. It needs a lot of cards in play, and you need time to set them up to really operate well. And once that board wipe goes off, it's just tough for them. And even, like, they were the ones that played it, but they had to, right? He does get an extra card. Finds a settle of his own or something. War Room, some more card draw. Bishop of Wings activates War Room. Enduring Angel is a cheat death. That's, well, I mean, you can just move the boots over. Yeah, now because you can just move the boots over to the thing, and that's a 6/6 with double strike. This is a good card. I like this card. This is a cheat death. No, I wouldn't have saved it against commander damage, I guess, but man, I should have went to Platinum Empyrean. Yep, there comes a big attack. Unless it's a settle or something like that, this will do it. Yeah, down he goes. Takes it down with the Angel deck. Oh, there's a Brimstone. Yeah, not much left for him. So as far as this deck, I don't know that I would change a ton. I like a lot of what's in here. Honestly, what I was kind of noticing, evasion, right? So, I mean, he's got a Chroma's Will. I was going to say a Chroma's Will make you win more games. Because, that's the story of this game, right? The story of this game was that everyone had creatures, pretty good creatures in play, and it was just like who got to their big, powerful spells first, right? Angel deck had a Chroma's Will and a Teferi's Protection. That's tough to beat, right? That's just, we got to our farewell, but it was too late. The fairies had already happened, and we didn't draw the Teferis of our own, right? So we didn't get the Settle the Wreckage either. But yeah, honestly, I like a lot of what's in here. Maybe an extra combat, maybe one more source of evasion. I don't know. Garrick's Uprising, that's the card I was trying to think of. Yeah, it was also, I mean, it was just a tricky game, right? Everyone had really big creatures. And when you're doing what this deck is doing, you're kind of expecting people to have smaller creatures than you. You know, we had some of this stuff, and they didn't. It's a problem when they don't. So, yeah, I don't know. Just kind of a bad matchup for us. But yeah, I don't think I would change all that much in the deck. Maybe the Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus is okay, but maybe I would, I personally probably go for maybe a Sky Shroud Claim or something. Gilded Lotus can be a little clunky. It is nice mana. Although, I mean, they do get blown up, right? So the lands probably aren't going anywhere. If they do, you have bigger problems anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, it was a cool deck. We got to do some stuff. The double Mana Geyser play was super cool. We just needed more time and needed people to not be as well entrenched with protection as they were. So that was kind of the deal. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.